everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, February 16, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. When we waken to the realization that we are pure, untainted divine consciousness at the core, our experience of this life profoundly shifts. You know yourself as a spiritual being, beyond time, beyond space, beyond all form and formlessness. You realize that what you truly are is beyond anything the mind can describe. You are beyond every concept your mind has about you. And when you reach this moment of self-realization, your awareness becomes so luminous that you no longer chase every unconscious thought the mind throws at you. You will hear thoughts, see them pass by, and yet, mysteriously, you don't buy into their story or believe they are real. Your paradigm shift is so profound that no matter what happens, you remain unattached to the mind's illusions of anyone else's perception of reality. And the self-realized mind sees all thoughts as passing illusions, mere reflections, and not reality itself. You feel much more interested in exploring a deeper, more intimate, direct connection with God and the now than in being lost in past, future thoughts within the mind. A truly self-realized being knows no fear. They embody a deep, unshakable lightness about life. They embrace the transient nature of all things, allowing immense joy, appreciation, love, and laughter to flow through them. Their joy stems from the perpetual self-realized experience, which is like an infinite wellspring of the purest angelic light from within their being. They experience at the spiritual core of their being deeply, close to the God source, and are totally surrendered to that spiritual connection. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi. A self-realized being knows that every atom in this universe, including themselves, is connected to the highest source of love, life, and consciousness. They see no human as separate from the infinite spiritual essence they are, temporarily expressing itself in billions of unique forms on this planet. They see how the divine, all-intelligent, conscious universe surrounds and lives within them. The body is allowing God to breathe you, filling you with life and experience. A realized being is free from attachment to this physical world. They see the divine play unfolding through the body-mind, and in this deep knowing, they surrender effortlessly. It is truly impossible for a self-realized being to get lost in drama or to be consumed by anger, desire, fear, hopelessness, or sadness. These beings fully experience deep emotions, yet they understand each one as a portal into deeper wisdom. They see life's diversity as a gift, making existence rich and wonderful. There is neither attachment nor avoidance of any mental or emotional pattern. They are truly free from anxiety, pain, and suffering. And in this And this is a miracle. The moment that you realize that there is no way to make a home, then this whole existence is home. Then wherever you are at home. A Course in Miracles. When you come to the deepest core of your being, to your very source, you will know that you are God, Osho. Now we have all of this is a belief, and either we choose to believe or not. And we have been filled with information that is not really true. So I've always said you look at a comparison, and if you don't have a comparison, you pretty much have to start from scratch. And the decision to go within, and this is all evolutionary, spiritual evolution. It isn't really physical. It's a spiritual evolution of awareness and knowing who and what you are. And it's interesting because it's a choice. It's not like you're going to get a big surprise if you go within, although you may. But you go within to discover once and for all who and what you are. Now, a lot of us will say, well, I know they know who they are because, their name and where they live and what they do and all that is not them. The only way to really clarify it is that you, the God, the pure consciousness, who basically really is, when you're plugged in, because we all are permanently, to pure consciousness, all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, forever. Well, that means that we're all knowing, all seeing. But when you don't know that you have that, right? You don't know that you have that all knowing, all seeing, because you can plug into the collective consciousness and then you know everything, all the gurus and throughout the ages and all of that information you have access to. And what we do is that we immerse ourselves, which basically we have no comparison, and we immerse ourselves in the physical material because it feels real to us. And see, at the same time, we don't know who we are. We don't know who and what we are. It's not negative, it's just that's the current status for us. And in order for us to uncover that, it takes a tremendous amount of permanent commitment. Not, once in a while or once a month or once a year. It's going within and finally discovering who and what you are. Because at that stage, at that point, in that vibrational frequency, you realize that everything comes to you. Everything's like reversed for us on this planet. You notice that? Doesn't it ever feel like it's reversed? That who and what you really are is the opposite of what everything has tried to convince you of who and what you are. Because I'll guarantee you that you are not that. That all this stuff has convinced you of. Doesn't it make sense that when we are clear, that when we are truly in the now, and like in these meditations where you find a comfortable place, you make sure you have no outside distractions, and you relax into your body, you're as still as a statue, and you focus on your breath rising and falling. That's where you're going to find it all, not in material, physical, ego mind. And as you discover Eventually, all of us will. You discover that you are omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting abundant being that never dies. And with clarity and awareness, you attract what you want. That's it. Where attention goes, energy flows. And that's absolute. But see, you become much more aware of that by discovering that you're the God, the pure consciousness in that body. Now, most of us kind of go, yeah, it's, I manifest things on occasion. They come up, and I'm aware that I did that. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. But what I'm talking about is complete clarity and comprehension that you are the God. You are pure consciousness. And you are steering that vehicle that you're in. You're guiding it. So you're able to experience, while we're in these bodies, we're able to experience stuff that we could never experience. And we're the ones behind the wheel. We're the master and commanders, with the rudder, however you want to say it. And the crazy thing is that the majority of us don't know that. We believe that this stuff comes out of somewhere, that there's something laying the groundwork for us, when we're the ones laying the groundwork. We do it, all of us. There's nobody else. It's just you. And we collect information, and we experience it on a very massive scale, which means all of us in this very now moment inhabiting certain physical forms to experience them and our surroundings. When we become focused on that, for the purpose of what? Focused on it for the purpose of comprehending it, so that we can open all the doors that have been locked forever. You go up to one door, it's locked. Okay, I'll try this one. If that's locked, you try another one. That's locked. Why are these doors locked? Because we lock them. Or some of us will just ignore the stuff that comes in. We just kind of kick it to the side. All right, not interested in dealing with that. That's just coincidence. And we blow it off. Sooner or later, it's going to surface again. Always does. But realize what it would be, like in the quiet time of this meditation, and you're focused, what would it be like to be completely clear and aware of who and what you are? Wouldn't that be wild? You could manifest anything you choose, almost instantaneously. You have no worry, no stress, no fear, no anxieties, none of that stuff. It's gone, disappear. You don't have a plethora of thoughts slamming you 24/7, of which are not yours. And you don't have thoughts that you send out that you aren't aware of that create and manifest things that you're not aware of, that you feel that you're caught off and that you're surprised because you have no idea where they came from. And then you believe that something outside of you did it or brought it in. This is our next step in evolution. It's a spiritual high enlightenment evolution that we choose for ourselves. Some of us much more clear about it, but always through heart-mind, not through ego-mind. Through ego-mind, we would be on this so-called bandwagon for, who knows, billions of more years. And why would we want to do that? We wouldn't care to do that. Isn't it interesting that all of us, throughout all these lifetimes are, for all intents and purposes, very experienced being in physical bodies. So it's not like we're just a brand new spirit that has just dropped in and is experiencing a physical material life for the very first time. And have you ever brought yourself to a point where you said, it's time for me to take the next step? You'll know. You just know it. You don't broadcast it to anybody. You just know it's time for you to take the next step. And you say to yourself, okay, so what's the next step? I want to go on. I want to go inside, and I want to find out what I am, who I am, really. Not this stuff, because I've learned and I've experienced, at least to the extent of knowing that this stuff is not me. None of this is me. It's fun at times. It's very entertaining at times. Got the high and low and middle energies and frequencies. So how could that ever be boring? Just being is exciting. And so bit by bit, piece by piece, we begin to embrace who and what we truly are. We transform. We leave, knowingly, the lower vibrational frequencies, which is stress, fear, anxiety, worry, anger, greed, manipulation, all that stuff. And we embrace what? Peace, bliss, joy, happiness. And we move into a continual being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves at all times, and we're in deep gratitude 24/7. That is an entirely different existence compared to what we are interacting with right now. And every one of us, in this very now moment, have that ability to embrace all of that. With no doubt, no lack of faith, and no lack of trust. Got 100% across the board with ourselves and the universe. And the key is to truly, deeply believe in the core of your being all of that. Because if it's just superficial, 9 times out of 10 it'll fade out. And you'll be in the same energies. Because all of us can create anything we desire, no matter what it is. Okay? And through heart-mindedness, it will not be anything that creates harm. And we're right there. We're just right there. Our hand is about to turn the knob on the door. Some of us will go, no, not ready. I'm not going to do that. I'll stay cozy right here. Others of us will say, I'm more than ready to do that. Door opens, higher frequencies, a completely unique experience of much higher frequencies, awareness, clarity of who and what you are. And when you make that mantra and you say, I am an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies, which is the God within you, in that body, that's true. It is as true as anything can be and beyond. That's a fact. It's not made up. That's what we are. We're not these wandering generalities where we just wander around on this planet and bump into things in life, experience this and that, and then leave the body. And most of the time we leave the body and we always say to ourselves, I didn't do what I wanted to do there. So maybe I'll go back in. I did all this over here and I wanted to do this here. Well, it's because you don't have a memory when you come into it. You lose your memory and come into the body. So you forget what it was that motivated you to go into another body. Now, once that isn't in the mix anymore, then it'll be different. Because then we'll be able to see, right, all of our lives and through heart-mindedness. You will not see your lives, past lives, until you are in heart-mind. And not once in a while, but until you're in heart-mind all the time. The now, the present moment. And what is the reason for that? Ego mind, most of us would freak out. We'd freak out. Now, we don't think that because we're curious. We have that childlike curiosity. But we would. It's just, it's emotion. These bodies are so highly emotional. You imagine what it'd be like if you, any of us, all of a sudden were able to clearly, precisely see every single one of our past lives in detail, not superficially. Okay, so you're not living it again, but you can view it. What you were, what the body was, what the life and the surroundings were. Who did you interact and interface with? What did you do? And I think we all know that. It's like, yeah, these bodies are highly emotional, and all of us are affected by these highly emotional containers. Now, we realize that right now, most of us are mostly in ego mind, but sometimes in heart mind. And it's our choosing to increase that to mostly heart mind, sometimes ego mind. And then, of course, eventually, always heart mind, retire ego mind. And then what happens is that we learn and we experience, and then we're heart-minded. And so then the avenue opens up for us to see our past lives. All of them. Yes, some of them probably won't be too fun for us. Others will probably be ecstatic. And, everything. It's the whole shebang. But then at that point, what is it? It's a reference library. We can tap into it whenever we want. There's things that we did 10,000 years ago that may have something similar presented to us that we go, okay, I will let this pass. I'm not going to engage it. The reason is because of this, what I experienced in this life, this past life, or the one 500 years ago, or whatever. Because we're always evolving. If any of us believe that we are not changing every split second and we aren't evolving, then they need to check up for the neck up. We are evolving right now in this very moment. The information I'm sharing with you is assisting you with that evolution. You choose. You pick bits of information that vibrate with you. They may not vibrate with someone else, but they vibrate with you. And then someone else sees something and pulls something out that vibrates with them. It's just absolutely fascinating that we have the opportunity to live in these, to experience these bodies and all the things around us that we experience while being in these bodies. and to begin visualizing what it will be like for you. And join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. For today, explore the perfection of duality. Notice there is both darkness and light within every being, thing, place, and experience. Get out a pen and paper and write down all of your biggest judgments and negative beliefs you have about the other people. Then write down the opposite, positive aspects of each belief. Notice what happens when you see the divine balance within each negativity in your life. Explore and feel this divine balance within yourself today. What would your life be like if you only saw a divinely balanced, perfect state in everyone and everything? Remember, this universe is completely balanced, perfect, and divine. The negative judgments created from the mind make your world appear to be anything but that. Acknowledge the perfect balance that exists in this life and recognize this each time you judge yourself or someone else today. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Monday, President's Day, holiday, February 17, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, and continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you, nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in